Hi guys, so today in this video I'm going to discuss a very important topic of periodontics, which is necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis. This is a very important question from your Viva point of view as well as from theory examination point of view. So I am discussing it here, so let's check out a video. So the question which can be asked by the examiner is that what is trench mouth, or they can either ask you like what is Vincent's disease instead of just calling it as necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis. Okay, so you have to remember other names of necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis which I have named here. So it is also called as trench mouth, Vincent's disease, fusospirochetal gingivitis, and Purite stomatitis. Okay, so I hope you will remember these names. Just note them down and just remember them. Okay, so what is necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis? It is basically a microbial disease of gingiva with impaired host defense. Okay, so whenever the host defense fails to, you know, just to cope up with these microorganisms, so it leads to the disease of gingiva. Okay, so it occur in impaired host response. So it manifests with characteristics clinical signs of necrosis and slugging of gingival tissue and may be accompanied by systemic symptoms. So basically you will see on gingiva, you will see slugging and necrosis. Along with that you can also see the systemic symptoms. Okay, so this is about necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis. This definition you are going to quote if it comes in your theory or in your vivas. Okay, next moving on to the clinical features. What are the clinical features which you see in the necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis? So necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis is usually identified as an acute disease. So it is an acute disease. It often undergoes a diminution in severity without treatment. So if it is not treated, then it can lead to a severe problem. Otherwise it is a very acute condition leading to a subacute stage and milder clinical symptoms. Thus patient may have a history of repeated remission and exacerbation. Okay, so this is about necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis. Okay, next, in NUG they can cause tissue necrosis. Obviously after the necrosis it will lead to the tissue destructions. It may involve periodontal attachment apparatus. When bone loss occur, the condition is called as necrotizing ulcerative periodontitis. You know this, whenever there is bone loss it is called necrotizing ulcerative periodontitis. Okay, so NUG is basically leading to NUP. Okay, as simple. So basically you have to remember that this is an acute disease, but if it is not treated it can lead to very severe condition. It can lead to subacute stages with mildest clinical symptoms, and patient will have a history of exacerbation and remission. And it can also lead to tissue destruction, where when it leads to the loss of bone, it can lead to necrotizing ulcerative periodontitis, which is NUP. Okay, then what are the oral signs which you actually see? So there will be punched out crater like depression at the crest of interdental papilla. You know the interdental papilla, it is the whenever you see, if this is the teeth, right? If this is teeth, so you have your gingiva in between. So this gingiva, it is called as interdental papilla. So punched out crater like depression at the crest of interdental papilla. Okay, I hope you are able to imagine this, which extends to marginal gingiva. What is marginal gingiva? So this is interdental papilla, and marginal gingiva is this, which surrounds the tooth in a collar like fashion. So this is, it extends to the marginal gingiva and rarely to the attached gingiva and oral mucosa. Attached gingiva is above this. So if suppose these are your teeth, this is interdental papilla, this is marginal gingiva, and here above you will find your attached gingiva, and then is your oral mucosa. So it rarely extends to the attached gingiva and oral mucosa. The surface of the gingival crater is covered by a grey pseudomembranous slug. So it is covered by pseudomembranous slug, okay, which is grey in color, which is demarcated from the remainder of gingival mucosa by linear erythema. Erythema means you will see a red color lining which is demarcating it from the normal gingiva. Okay, so what else will you see in this? So you will see that in some cases the pseudomembrane slugs and expose the gingival margin, which is red, shiny and hemorrhagic. Okay, so basically the gingiva is hemorrhage. There will be hemorrhage, there will be bleeding and fetid odor. Obviously you will see the odor, you will smell the odor also, and there is increased salivation. So radiation, gnawing pain that intensify by spicy hot food. Okay, so sorry, this is radiating gnawing pain which intensified by spicy and hot food, and there will also be a metallic foul taste, excessive pasty salivation. Okay, so this was all about the intraoral clinical features which you will see. Now we'll talk about the extraoral and systemic features which you see. So there will be local lymphadenopathy and slight elevation in the temperature in mild to moderate stage of disease. So local lymphadenopathy occurs because whenever there is any kind of infection, obviously you will see lymphadenopathy, and slight elevation in temperature because of the reaction between your immune mechanism cells and your bacteria and these outside foreign bacteria. So this will lead to elevation in temperature, and there will be mild to moderate stages of disease. Okay, but in case of severe cases, what happen, there will be high fever, increased pulse rate, leukocytosis, loss of appetite, insomnia in which there is loss of sleep, constipation, GI tract disorders, headache and mental depression. Okay, and in rare case you see gangrenous stomatitis and noma. I hope you must have read about this in your general medicine as well as in your oral pathology. So you must be knowing this. In noma, what happened? Basically, there is hole, like in case of cheeks and gingiva, there is hole appearance. So basically, it leads to destruction of the mucosa and then it reaches to the bone. Okay, this is about it. And so this is all about in extraoral and systemic features. I hope you will remember them. Okay, next is the clinical course. If NUG is left untreated, it may lead to NUP. I have told you earlier also, if this necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis is not treated, it may reach to the bone, and this may lead to the necrotizing ulcerative periodontitis with progressive destruction of periodontal and gingival recession. Obviously, there will be gingival recession when the periodontium is destructed, accompanied by increase in severity of systemic complication, and this will further will lead to the systemic complication. Okay, so this is about clinical course. So now there is a Penbog staging. So according to the Penbog, it is being characterized into 4 stages. So the first stage is stage 1. It is being stage 1 says that there is erosion of only tip of the interdental papilla. What does that mean? See, if these are the teeth, okay, and this is your interdental papilla, so only the tip is eroded. Okay, so only the tip of interdental papilla is eroded. In stage 2, what happened? There is erosion of marginal gingiva and complete loss of the papilla. So there is complete loss of the papilla. Along with that, there is loss of the marginal gingiva also. So this is stage 2. Third is stage 3. It says there is erosion of attached gingiva also. So attached gingiva is somewhere here. So marginal papilla as well as attached gingiva, all of them are eroded. Okay. Stage 4 says there is exposure of bone. Okay. So there will be attached and all these are involved, and along with that there will be exposure of bone. So this is stage 4. I hope you'll remember this. This is very easy. This is asked in vivas, like what is Penbog staging in necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis. So you will remember this. This is very easy, very simple. In first stage, only the tip of the interdental papilla. Then stage 2 says that the marginal along with this tip, complete papilla. Then stage 3 says that attached gingiva also, and stage 4 says there is exposure of bone. Okay. So we also have another classification which is Horing and Cohn. According to this is being divided into 7 stages. So in stage 1, it says there is necrosis of tip of interdental papilla, same as the previous classification. Only the tip of interdental papilla is involved. It is only NUG. Okay. Second stage says that there is necrosis of entire papilla. So entire papilla is involved. So this will be stage 2, and there is NUG or NUP. Third is the necrosis which extend to the marginal gingiva. So first was a tip, then entire papilla, and now there is marginal gingiva. So marginal gingiva, is involved, and this is NUP. Then is the stage 4, which says there is a necrosis which extends to the attached gingiva. After marginal, it will extend to the attached gingiva. Okay, so after marginal gingiva, it is extending to the attached gingiva. Okay, so this is NUP. Fifth says that there is necrosis into the buccal or labial mucosa. After this attached gingiva, what is left? Buccal or labial mucosa. So this is NUS, necrotizing ulcerative stomatitis. Next is the sixth stage, says that there is exposure of alveolar bone. Okay, and this is also necrotizing ulcerative stomatitis. Stage 7 says there is necrosis perforating the skin and the cheek, like I told you about the noma. So this is basically the severe case. So this is very simple, very basic. If you will think it in this way also, you will remember it. So first is the tip of interdental papilla, then whole interdental papilla, then the marginal gingiva. See, after the tip, after tip there will be whole this interdental papilla. After this you will reach to the this marginal gingiva. Okay, and after marginal gingiva there is attached gingiva. Okay, after attached gingiva there is buccal or labial mucosa. Then it will, if it won't stop here, it is not treated at this stage, then it will lead to exposure of the alveolar bone. If not treated here, then it will lead to the noma. Obviously this condition is noma. So if you will remember in this way, it is very simple and very basic, and this is asked in your NEET examination also in MCQs, like which stage is this and which stage which is involved. So you have to remember these. Okay, this is very simple. Next is the microbiology of NUG. Okay, so what is the microbiology of acute necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis? It is caused by the cocci, fusiform bacilli, or spirochetes. So you have to remember these names. Okay. Next comes the diagnosis of necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis. Based on the clinical finding, it is based on the clinical finding. Okay, so it is, there's pain, ulcerations, or bleeding on probing. Okay, so this is the diagnosis. Differential diagnosis of acute necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis is acute herpetic gingivostomatitis. Okay, now what are the difference between this necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis and primary herpetic gingivostomatitis? Acute herpetic gingivostomatitis. See, this necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis is basically caused by the bacteria, which I told you, like cocci, fusiform bacilli, or spirochetes. But this herpetic gingivostomatitis, it is caused by the virus. Okay. In case of NUG, you will see punched out appearance, but in case of herpetiform gingivostomatitis, you will see diffuse erythema. It involves the marginal gingiva, but it is a diffuse case. So and also this herpetic gingivostomatitis is seen more commonly in children, but this is not seen in children. It can be seen in any age. Then also disease, the number of days this disease prevails, it is 7 to 8 days, but in this case we cannot predict for how many days it will be. Okay, and this is also contagious disease, herpetic gingivostomatitis, but this is not contagious. So these are some differences on the basis of which we can, diagnose it that this is necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis or acute herpetic gingivostomatitis. Okay, now what are the predisposing factor of necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis? So there are local and systemic causes. So local includes the deep periodontal pockets and smoking, and systemic is systemic disease like anemia, leukemia, and AIDS. Then in systemic there can be nutrition deficiency or stress. So these are the points which you have to remember. Then epidemiology and prevalence. It affects all the age 15 to 20 years, 20 to 30 years. There is low socioeconomic status. Okay. About the treatment, it's quite big, so I'll discuss it in the next video. For now I'll keep it short, and so see you in the next video. I hope this video helped you. Please stay tuned and till the next video. I'll be discussing the treatment in the next video. Okay, thank you so much for watching.